A native woman was stealing eggs. Then, when the cowboy caught her and said, "Come and bring your kids," the sky above Earth darkened one morning, though the sun had just begun to rise. People thought it was a strange weather pattern at first. Birds flew in confusion, and traffic slowed, as drivers stared at the unusual shadow crossing the atmosphere. Then, the first ships appeared. They were huge, black, and unlike anything humans had ever built. They moved silently, cutting through the clouds like knives, and they came in thousands. In New York City, Alex Carter watched from his apartment window. He had always been alert to the news, but nothing prepared him for this. The ships hovered above the skyline. At first, people cheered, thinking it was some kind of show. Then, beams of bright white light shot down. Buildings crumbled instantly. Cars melted. Streets turned into rivers of fire. The scream started immediately. Alex could not move. He felt frozen, unable to believe what was happening. Across the world, chaos erupted. In London, Cairo, Beijing, Sydney, and Rio, people ran, fought, and hid. No army, no fighter jet, no missile could touch the ships. Satellites failed. Communication lines were destroyed. In a single day, the Earth's major cities fell. 10 billion people were caught in a disaster they had no way to stop. Alex did not know where to go. He could see the ships from his window, and he could hear the distant thunder of explosions. Smoke filled the streets below, and the sky glowed red from the fires. He grabbed a backpack, throwing in water, food, and some clothes, but he did not know if it would matter. Outside, people were screaming, running in every direction. Some tried to fight with whatever weapons they had, but it was useless. The ship's energy beams vaporized them instantly. Alex ran down the stairs of his apartment building, trying to reach the subway tunnels. He saw families torn apart. Children clung to their parents, crying, while their parents tried desperately to keep them safe. The air smelled of burning metal and ash. He stumbled over bodies, trying not to think about the people who had just vanished. In the chaos, he found Lisa Grant. She had worked in a science lab near the city. She looked scared but determined. "Alex," she said, grabbing his arm, "we need to get out of the city." Together they ran through ruined streets. They moved carefully, avoiding the areas where beams from the ships had struck. The city they knew was gone. Roads were torn apart, cars stacked like toys, and fires burned in every direction. They found a small group of survivors in a damaged building. There was Jake Morgan, a man in his 30s, strong and quick-thinking. He had been trying to organize people to escape. There was also Maria Lopez, a nurse who had helped hundreds of people get to safety before the city finally fell. "We need to find a safe place," Jake said. "Somewhere underground where the ships can't reach us." "There's a subway tunnel not far from here. If we can reach it, we might have a chance to survive for a while." Alex, Jake, and Lisa led the survivors through the streets. They moved quickly but cautiously. Sometimes the ships scanned the streets with a slow-moving light. Anyone caught in the light vanished instantly. Alex felt his heart hammer in his chest every time the light came near. After what felt like hours, they reached the subway entrance. The stairs were damaged, but they climbed down carefully. The tunnels were dark, dusty, and smelled of damp earth. For the first time that day, Alex felt a little safe, away from the light of the ships. People huddled together, breathing heavily, trying to recover from the shock. But the danger was far from over. The Imperium ships had begun to block off escape routes. Military forces tried to fight back, but their weapons were useless. tanks, fighter jets, and missile bases were destroyed with ease. Humanity had no real defense against these invaders. In the tunnels, Lisa opened a small laptop she had brought. She was a scientist, and her mind raced even in the middle of chaos.
I have to try, she said. I need to see if there's anything left in the old data archives that can help us.
He had fought in small conflicts before, but nothing like this. He had never imagined a day when the whole world could be defeated in a single attack. "Do you really think we can fight them?" he asked quietly. Lisa shook her head. "I don't know yet, but I have to try. Maybe there's something they don't know about, something they didn't expect." Jake came over, his face serious. "Bay, we need to organize people. The tunnels aren't a safe place forever. We need food, water, and a way to defend ourselves if they come down here." The next few days were tense. The survivors moved through the subway tunnels, finding abandoned stations and empty trains to use as shelters. They shared what little food they had. Every day the sound of the ships above reminded them that the world they had known was gone. Alex, Lisa, and Jake began planning.
They realized that staying underground was only a temporary solution. If humanity was to survive, they would need to strike back.
They began collecting scraps of weapons, electronic devices, and old satellites. Lisa studied alien technology debris left from the attacks, trying to understand how it worked. One night while the survivors slept, a sudden vibration shook the tunnel. Everyone woke in panic. The Imperium had begun sending small strike teams to clear remaining human pockets. The survivors hid in side tunnels as robotic soldiers, unlike anything humans had ever seen, moved past. They were fast, armored, and deadly. The group held their breath as the robots scanned the tunnel with lights. When the sound faded, everyone exhaled slowly, realizing they had survived another attack. "This isn't just about taking over cities," Jake said grimly. "They want to wipe us out completely." Alex clenched his fists. "Then we have to show them they can't." "We may be weak, but we're still alive. That means something." Lisa nodded, her fingers flying over the laptop keys. "I think I found something." On Mars, there are old records of a human-built network, something they called the precursor system. If it still exists, it might help us. "Mars?" Alex asked. "Are you crazy?" "We can barely survive here. How will we get to Mars?" Lisa smiled faintly. "It's our only chance. The Imperium thinks we're finished."
That's exactly why we might succeed. They don't expect humans to fight back.
But
The group worked in secret, using the tunnels as their base, people trained in stealth and small combat tactics.
engineers and scientists like Jake and Lisa began designing small weapons using scrap materials and leftover military supplies. Every day was a struggle, but hope began to grow in the small group. Outside, the Imperium was confident. They broadcast messages across the galaxy, showing footage of Earth in flames. 10 billion humans, they said, were either dead or enslaved. The galaxy was told that humanity had been defeated completely. But underground, Alex, Lisa, Jake, and the other survivors refused to give up. They knew the world above had changed forever, but they also knew that survival was the first step toward revenge. Pest. Alex often walked to the edge of a tunnel opening, looking at the destroyed city above. He remembered the people who had died, the families torn apart, and the world that was lost. But he also remembered one thing. Humanity was unpredictable, resilient, and capable of courage even in the face of extinction. One day, a small drone from the Imperium fell into the tunnel. It had been damaged by a stray energy blast from above. Lisa carefully examined it and discovered something incredible. The technology was advanced, yes, but it was not invincible. There were flaws, weaknesses, and patterns that could be studied. "This is it," Lisa said, holding the drone carefully. "This is how we begin to fight back."
Then we start now. No more hiding.
No more running. Over the following weeks, the survivors learned to move silently, to use tunnels as traps, and to gather information on the Imperium forces. Jake taught them to fight in small groups, striking and retreating before the enemy could respond. Lisa taught them to hack, modify, and understand the alien technology that had destroyed their world. Best. Even in the dark tunnels beneath a ruined city, hope began to grow. People shared stories of the world before the fall, remembering what they were fighting for. Children laughed when they could, playing in hidden corners. Every small victory became a step toward a larger one. And somewhere in the stars above, the Imperium continued to believe that Earth was theirs, that humanity was finished, and that 10 billion lives had been erased forever. They did not know that in the dark, hidden places of the world, humans were beginning to awaken, planning, learning, and waiting for the moment to strike back. Alex stood in the shadows, looking at the faces of the people around him. He knew the road ahead would be long and full of danger, but for the first time in weeks, he felt ready.
Humanity had fallen, yes, but it was not broken.
And when the time came, they would show the galaxy exactly what the life in the tunnels became a routine. But it was far from peaceful. Every day, Alex, Lisa, Jake, and the other survivors learned to move quietly, to avoid detection, and to prepare for the battles they knew would come. Food was always limited, water even more so, but people shared what they had. Every small act of kindness mattered. Lisa worked constantly on her laptop, studying the damaged drone they had found. She spent hours looking at its systems, trying to understand how it worked.
"These machines are not perfect," she told Alex one evening.
"If we study enough of them, we can find patterns. We can predict their movements, their attacks."
"Maybe we can even use some of their technology ourselves." Alex nodded.
"It won't be easy. They control the sky, the satellites, everything. But if we survive long enough, we can fight back."
Jake trained groups of survivors every day.
He taught them how to move silently, how to defend themselves with simple weapons, and how to use the tunnels as traps. Small ambushes became practice drills. Rocks dropped from ceilings, hidden pits, and surprise attacks taught the survivors how to fight in confined spaces. Children watched and learned too, carrying small knives or sticks, always under careful supervision. One night, Lisa came to Alex with something important. "I think I found a way to reach Mars," she said, her voice trembling with excitement.
There are old records of human explorers. They built a system called the Precursor Network.
It is like a chain of hidden stations, some on Earth, some on the Moon, and some on Mars. If we can access it, it may give us a way to strike at the Imperium."
Alex felt a mixture of hope and fear. Mars?
"That is not just far. That is impossible for us without ships." Lisa shook her head.
I know.
"But the network may help us. It could give us faster travel than anything the Imperium expects." "They think we are finished. That is our advantage."
We can move in secret.
Jake overheard them and joined the conversation. "If this is true, we need to plan carefully. We can't just go rushing to Mars. The Imperium monitors space. But if we take small steps, gather what we need, maybe we can survive long enough to reach it.
Over the next weeks, the group worked in secret.
They sent small teams above ground at night to gather supplies, learning the patrol routes of Imperium drones. Alex led many of these missions. They moved like shadows, avoiding detection, sometimes hiding in ruined buildings for hours until the drones passed.
Maya Brooks, a young hacker who had joined the survivors, proved to be a valuable ally.
Bray. She found ways to listen to Imperium communications, learning about their schedules, movements, and weaknesses.
They are not perfect, she said one night.
They rely on fear, control, and power. If we understand them, we can outsmart them. The survivors built small labs and workshops in abandoned subway stations. Engineers like Jake created simple energy shields, weapons, and even communication devices using parts from damaged Imperium drones.
Ha! They learned quickly, testing new ideas and improving their designs every day. Lisa continued her work on the precursor network.
She studied old records, maps, and signals left by humans who had explored space long before the Imperium existed. If we can activate even one station, she said, we might be able to control more than we imagine.
We can move people and resources in secret. Alex often visited the people training in the tunnels.
He saw fear in their eyes, but also determination. Children no longer cried as often. Adults worked tirelessly, preparing for a battle they could not yet see. Every day, their small victories added up. They learned to survive, to fight, and to hope. One morning, while the group gathered in a larger station, a distant explosion shook the tunnels. The Imperium had sent another patrol above ground, destroying what they thought were remaining hideouts. Smoke and fire could be seen through the cracks in the tunnel ceiling. Alex felt anger and determination. We can't just hide anymore, he said. Psst. We have to start taking action. Small actions, but they will matter. We need to show the Imperium that humans are not finished. Jake nodded.
We will, but we must be smart.
Verse. Every move counts. One mistake, and they could wipe out our entire group. Lisa smiled faintly. We have one advantage they don't expect. We are unpredictable. We are human. That is more than they ever understand.
Over the following days, the survivors tested their ideas.
Around. In desperation, small drones were built to monitor Imperium movements. Tunnels were mapped and expanded. Hidden rooms were created for storage and shelter. Alex led scouting teams above ground, gathering intelligence and sometimes sabotaging Imperium equipment. During one of these missions, Alex and his team found a small group of enslaved humans hiding in a ruined building. Many were injured, starving, and scared.
Alex helped them into the tunnels, giving them food, water, and medicine. We are not alone, he said.
Humanity survives together. Maya worked tirelessly to hack Imperium communications. She discovered that the Imperium feared a potential uprising on Earth, though they believed humans were weak. They think we are broken, she said. That is our chance.
If we move carefully, we can strike where they do not expect. Lisa's work on the precursor network progressed slowly but surely.
She discovered that some stations on the moon could still function. If activated, they might create a path to Mars.
We are not ready yet, she said, but we are closer than we think. The group also faced internal challenges. Fear, exhaustion, and despair sometimes caused arguments.
Base. Some people wanted to give up, while others pushed for faster action.
Alex learned to listen, to guide, and to encourage.
Bed. He reminded everyone why they fought: for survival, for family, for the chance to live freely again. One evening, as the survivors gathered around a small fire in a hidden station, Lisa spoke.
I have found coordinates to an old precursor station on the moon. It is damaged, but it may still work.
If we can reach it, we can test the network and see if it can take us further. Alex felt a mix of fear and excitement.
The moon is not far compared to Mars, but it is still dangerous. Bay. The Imperium will notice any movement in space. Jake smiled.
Then we must be smarter than them. We move in secret.
We use what we have learned here. We fight only when we must.
And we survive.
They built small spacecraft from parts scavenged from old satellites, abandoned research stations, and damaged drones. They trained in zero-gravity simulators built from old stations.
Every detail was tested. Every plan was reviewed.
Lisa and Maya worked together to create a simple communication system that could avoid Imperium detection. They used signals that bounced off hidden satellites and debris in space, making their transmissions almost invisible. Finally, after months of preparation, the group was ready for a small mission.
Alex, Lisa, Jake, and a few others would travel to the moon to activate the precursor station.
It was dangerous, but it was their first step toward striking back. As they boarded their small ships, Alex looked at the faces of the people around him. Breath. Fear was there, but so was courage. We may be small, he said, but we are alive. And being alive means we still have a chance. The ships lifted off silently, avoiding Imperium sensors. The survivors watched the ruined Earth fade below them, replaced by the blackness of space. Alex could see the fires of destroyed cities, the scars of the battle that had killed billions, but he also saw something else: determination. Humanity had fallen, yes, but it was not finished. On the way to the moon, Lisa worked constantly at the controls and monitors, studying signals, mapping the precursor network, and preparing to activate the station. Maya monitored communications, ensuring that no Imperium ship detected them. Jake kept the crew calm, reminding them to focus, to stay alert, and to trust in what they had learned.
When they reached the moon, the station was exactly as Lisa had expected, damaged but intact. The doors were blocked, systems offline. The group worked together to repair it, using tools, knowledge, and patience.
Every small success felt like a victory. Finally, after hours of work, the station powered up. Lights flickered, screens glowed, and a low hum filled the air. Lisa checked the readings. "It's working," she said, her voice full of relief. "We can send signals, move resources, and maybe even travel farther than anyone thought possible."
Alex felt hope rising inside him.
"This is just the beginning," he said. "The Imperium thinks we are finished." They are wrong. Humanity is not done yet. The small group looked out at the black sky, stars glittering, the earth below, and the vast unknown ahead. They had survived the fall of their world, learned to fight in the shadows, and now had the first step towards striking back. The galaxy, they knew, would be shocked when humans returned. And deep in the tunnels on Earth, the survivors waited, trained, and prepared. They had hope again. They had a plan. They had each other. The rise of humanity had begun. Alex, Lisa, Jake, and the team had spent months preparing in the tunnels and on the moon. Every moment was spent planning, training, and building small but powerful machines from scraps of old satellites and alien technology. The Imperium had not noticed their small spacecraft, and the precursor station on the moon now hummed with energy. It was their first real advantage.
The survivors on Earth continued their training and preparations in secret. Maya Brooks monitored Imperium communications constantly.
Psst. They are confident, she told Alex one evening. They think we are weak, finished, and afraid.
They are wrong. If we move carefully, we can strike where they do not expect.
Psst. Alex nodded.
Then we strike carefully.
Every attack must count. Every move matters.
We cannot waste our strength. Lisa worked at the precursor station, mapping hidden routes through the solar system.
We can travel without being detected, she said. This network is old, from early human explorers, but it still works. We can move our ships, our weapons, even people, and the Imperium will not know. They trained in zero gravity, in tunnels, and on abandoned stations. Every survivor learned to fight, to hide, and to work together. Even children were trained in small ways, carrying tools or watching the adults to learn strategy. Finally, the moment came. The first strike against the Imperium had to be small but powerful. The team decided to attack an Imperium supply station orbiting the Earth. It was lightly guarded compared to their main fleets, but it contained fuel, weapons, and small ships that could be captured. Alex, Lisa, Jake, and a small crew left the moon in their spacecraft.
The route was long and dangerous. If the Imperium detected them, it could mean instant destruction.
Bet. Every sound of their engines, every movement was measured carefully. Maya stayed behind on the moon, monitoring communications and sending warnings.
You have 30 minutes before patrols pass this area, she said. Move fast and be careful.
The team reached the supply station. It floated silently in space, massive but unprotected in parts. Alex led the approach, moving the ship slowly to avoid detection. Spare. Lisa guided them, reading the station's energy patterns. Jake prepared the small team of fighters. We get in, take what we need, and leave. No mistakes. Alex maneuvered the ship alongside the station. Jake and a small team entered in small pods, moving quietly through the airlocks. The Imperium guards were few but powerful. Laser rifles lit the halls with bright red beams. The humans ducked, dodged, and fought carefully. Every move was planned. Lisa monitored from the ship, guiding the team.
Left corridor 2 guards, she said. Avoid the center. Use the ventilation shafts.
They captured fuel, weapons, and 3 small Imperium ships. No lives were lost on their side. The Imperium crew on the station were shocked by the attack. They sent alerts, but it was too late. The humans escaped through hidden routes, disappearing into space before reinforcements could arrive. Alex watched from the ship, feeling a mix of relief and pride.
This is just the beginning, he said. We have to show them that humanity is not finished. When they returned to the moon, the team was welcomed by cheers.
Small victories like this built confidence and hope. Survivors trained harder, built more ships, and prepared for the next strikes. Over the next months, humanity moved in secret. Small groups attacked Imperium outposts on the moon, Mars, and near Earth. But every mission was precise. No unnecessary risks. Every success added to their confidence and skill.
The Imperium was confused.
They had expected humans to hide, to surrender, to obey. Instead, humans were striking back. Small ships appeared where they were not expected, striking weak points, stealing supplies, and disappearing. Across the galaxy, Imperium commanders could not understand how humans survived and acted with such intelligence. Alex, Lisa, and Jake met regularly in the moon station to plan. Lisa had begun sending signals through the precursor network, connecting hidden bases on the Moon, Mars, and secret locations on Earth.
We can move people faster than the Imperium expects, she said.
We can strike anywhere and retreat before they react. Jake added, we need more ships and more fighters. The more humans we can train, the stronger we will be.
Alex nodded.
Then we keep going.
We fight in secret, but we never stop. Every small victory prepares us for the larger ones. Bess. Soon, they targeted a major supply convoy moving between Mars and the outer colonies. It was heavily guarded, but the humans had learned to use speed, stealth, and precision. They studied the convoy's route for days. They built special small ships that could move in formations undetected. Fight.
When the convoy arrived, the humans struck. Their ships moved silently, appearing out of nowhere.
Energy weapons disabled the convoy's engines. Humans boarded the supply ships, taking weapons, fuel, and important supplies.
The Imperium fought back, but the humans had planned for every contingency. In less than an hour, the mission was complete.
Alex watched the battle unfold from his ship. He felt pride and relief.
Humanity had proven it could fight back, even against overwhelming odds. The survivors cheered, knowing that their hard work and preparation were paying off.
The attacks continued. Humans began rescuing enslaved colonies, using stealth and intelligence to avoid large battles. Each victory inspired hope not only on Earth but across the solar system. Alien species that had suffered under the Imperium began secretly aiding humanity. Supplies, information, and safe passage were offered to the humans, quietly and without drawing attention. Lisa worked on improving the precursor network.
She discovered hidden pathways that could connect human bases faster.
Using these paths, humans could transport ships, people, and resources almost instantly. It was a technology the Imperium had never seen. Alex realized the importance of hope. On the Moon, survivors trained tirelessly. Children learned skills to help in small ways. Adults built ships, weapons, and communication devices.
Every person contributed. Every person mattered.
One day, Alex, Lisa, and Jake planned a mission to liberate a large colony enslaved by the Imperium. The colony was on Mars, heavily guarded, with thousands of people forced into labor. The humans could not attack directly. The risk was too high. Instead, they used stealth, distraction, and intelligence. Small teams infiltrated the colony at night. They disabled guard systems, cut communications, and opened hidden escape routes. Humans trapped in the colony escaped quietly, guided by the survivors. The Imperium forces were confused, unable to respond quickly. By morning, the majority of the colony was free. Alex walked among the liberated people. Their faces showed fear, relief, and hope. "You are free now," he said softly.
"We will protect you, and we will fight until the Imperium is defeated." Jake added, "This is only the beginning. Humanity is alive, and we will not stop."
Lisa looked at the machines and signals she had activated.
"The network is working perfectly. We can move more ships, more people, and strike where the Imperium does not expect. We are ready for the next stage."
The Imperium began to notice patterns. Humans were not hiding anymore. They were fighting back strategically. Panic spread among Imperium leaders. They had underestimated humans completely. Across the galaxy, the story of human attacks began to spread. Other oppressed species whispered about it, secretly hoping humans would succeed.
Alex, Lisa, and Jake knew the next steps were even more dangerous. The Imperium would strengthen defenses, send more fleets, and hunt the humans relentlessly.
But humanity had learned valuable lessons: stealth, intelligence, teamwork, and courage. Alex trained every fighter personally.
Remember, he said, we are small compared to the Imperium, but we are smart, brave, and united. Every mission we complete makes us stronger.
Bye. Every victory shows the galaxy that humans will not be defeated. Lisa continued to expand the precursor network. Soon, she said, we will not only strike back but reach places the Imperium thinks we cannot. Mars, outer colonies, even their core worlds. They will not expect us. Best. The survivors were no longer hiding in fear. They moved, trained, and attacked with purpose. Small victories became larger ones. Humans captured more ships, freed more colonies, and gained allies from other species. Alex looked at the black sky from a small observation window on the moon station. Earth was far below, burned and scarred, but alive. The survivors in the tunnels worked tirelessly, learning, building, and preparing. Humanity was rising. One night, Lisa called Alex over. I have found a large Imperium command station near the outer colonies. It controls supply routes, communications, and patrols in this region. If we strike it, the Imperium will be shocked, and their operations will be disrupted.
Alex felt a surge of determination. Then we do it.
We have learned, trained, and fought. We are ready.
Humanity will show them we are not finished.
Jake joined them.
Hit! We strike fast, hit hard, and leave before they can respond. Every move must be precise.
Bess.
This could change the balance. The team spent days planning.
Every detail was reviewed. Every scenario imagined. Small ships, stealth tactics, and precise strikes were prepared. Maya worked to create a communications system that could avoid detection.
Lisa ensured the precursor network was ready to move people and supplies quickly. When the mission began, humans moved silently through space.
They struck the command station with speed and precision. Energy beams disabled its defenses, small ships infiltrated, and human fighters captured critical points. The Imperium was shocked. Communications failed. Patrols were disrupted. Humanity had struck the heart of their operations without warning. Alex watched the operation unfold.
This is what we have trained for, he said.
We are small, but we are strong. We are alive, and we fight. Bear. Humanity had proven that it could strike back, even against the Imperium's largest forces. Hope spread like wildfire. Across the solar system, humans and their allies prepared for the next battles. The rise of humanity was no longer a secret. Bear. The Imperium had underestimated them. And now the galaxy watched in shock as a species thought to be defeated began to fight back with courage, intelligence, and determination. The battle for the galaxy had begun. The galaxy had begun to notice something impossible. A species that the Imperium claimed to have destroyed was striking back, winning battles, and freeing colonies. On Earth, the survivors worked tirelessly, building more ships, training more fighters, and coordinating attacks through the precursor network. Alex Carter stood on the observation deck of the moon station. Best. The blackness of space stretched endlessly, dotted with stars. Earth glowed faintly below, scarred but alive. Prowl. Alex felt a mix of pride and determination. Humanity had survived the fall, learned to fight in secret, and now had the chance to change the course of the galaxy. Lisa Grant was beside him, studying readings on the precursor network. "We can reach places faster than the Imperium expects," she said.
We can strike at multiple points at the same time. This network gives us a huge advantage.
Jake Morgan joined them, his face serious but confident. "We have trained the survivors. We have small fleets ready. We know how to fight smart." The Imperium will not see us coming. Maya Brooks worked in the communications hub, intercepting messages from the Imperium. "They are panicking," she said. "They don't understand how humans are moving so quickly and striking in ways they cannot predict. Hey, every colony we free weakens them, and every small victory spreads fear." The first stage of their plan was to expand the fight beyond the inner solar system. Humans had captured several small Imperium ships, and the precursor network allowed them to move secretly to distant colonies. Alex, Lisa, and Jake planned attacks on supply routes, military outposts, and communication hubs. The first mission took them to a group of outer colonies that had been enslaved for years. Humans moved silently through space, using stealth and careful planning. Small ships infiltrated the stations, disabling defenses and freeing prisoners. Energy weapons disabled the Imperium ships without destroying the colonies. Alex led the boarding teams. He moved with quiet precision, guiding the teams through corridors, disabling guards, and opening escape routes. Each freed colonist was given supplies, medical help, and a small ship to return to safety. By the time the Imperium reinforcements arrived, the humans were gone. Every successful mission strengthened humanity's confidence. Survivors on Earth and the Moon trained harder, knowing that the next missions would be more dangerous. Lisa worked tirelessly to expand the precursor network, connecting hidden bases in secret locations across the galaxy. Jake trained the fighters in more advanced tactics. They learned to strike quickly, retreat, and move in formations that confused the Imperium. Children and teenagers who had grown up during the fall were trained as messengers, scouts, and helpers. Every person contributed, and every success inspired hope. The Imperium was shaken. Their leaders could not understand how a species they had crushed could strike so efficiently. Panic spread through their ranks. Colonies that had once been loyal now whispered about rebellion. Small groups of alien species began secretly helping the humans, providing supplies, information, and safe passage.
Alex realized that timing and intelligence were their greatest weapons. He planned a mission to disable a major Imperium command station in the outer colonies.
The station controlled patrols, supplies, and communications across a vast region. If humans could disable it, it would disrupt Imperium operations and inspire rebellion across multiple worlds. The plan was risky. Small human fleets had to approach undetected, strike critical points, and leave before reinforcements arrived. Every move was coordinated through the precursor network, with Maya monitoring communications and Lisa calculating safe routes. When the mission began, humans moved like shadows. They struck at the command station with speed and precision. Energy beams disabled shields, and small boarding teams captured key control points. The Imperium was caught completely off guard. Patrols were disrupted, supplies were delayed, and communications failed. Humanity had struck at the heart of the Imperium's power in the region. Alex watched the operation from the observation deck of the flagship. He felt pride as he saw the humans succeed. Small victories had grown into large ones. Humanity was no longer hiding. They were moving, fighting, and winning. The news of the attacks spread across the galaxy. Colonies under Imperium control began organizing secret uprisings. Alien species who had suffered under the Imperium offered covert help. Supplies, intelligence, and even small fleets were sent to humans. The galaxy began to whisper that humanity was alive, strong, and dangerous.
Lisa expanded the precursor network further.
She activated hidden stations near critical supply routes. Humans could now move ships, weapons, and people faster than the Imperium could track.
The network became their most powerful tool. Alex trained the fighters for larger battles.
"We are small compared to the Imperium," he said, "but we are smart, brave, and united."
Every mission we complete makes us stronger. Every victory shows the galaxy that humans will not be defeated. Bad. Jake added, "We are teaching the galaxy a lesson. Strength comes not from power alone, but from courage, intelligence, and unity." The next mission targeted a heavily fortified supply convoy near the outer edge of the galaxy. It carried weapons, fuel, and small warships. Humans studied the convoy for weeks, learning patrol schedules, shield patterns, and weak points. When the attack began, the humans moved silently. They struck at the convoy from multiple directions at once. Energy weapons disabled engines, small teams captured ships, and the convoy was scattered. The Imperium could only watch as humans struck without warning and disappeared before reinforcements arrived. Alex led the boarding teams personally. He moved through corridors, guiding humans past guards, disabling security systems, and securing supplies. By the time the Imperium responded, humans were gone, leaving chaos behind.
The victory inspired hope across the galaxy.
Colonies began rising in rebellion. Freed slaves joined human fleets, and alien species offered assistance. Humans were no longer small survivors. They were a growing force. Maya intercepted communications that revealed panic in Imperium command. "They don't know how to respond," she said.
They expected obedience, fear, and surrender. Instead, they see humans moving, striking, and winning.
Across the galaxy, they fear humans now.
Lisa expanded the precursor network even further. Hidden stations on distant planets were activated.
Humans could now coordinate strikes across multiple systems. Resources, fighters, and supplies could be moved instantly. The Imperium was unprepared for this level of organization.
Alex and Jake began planning the final stages.
Humanity had survived, learned to fight, and grown stronger. Now it was time to strike at the core of Imperium power. Their fleets would attack key command centers, free enslaved colonies, and disrupt supply lines across the galaxy. The humans knew it would be dangerous. The Imperium would respond with overwhelming force. But Alex, Lisa, Jake, and Maya were confident. Humanity had learned, adapted, and grown stronger. They had hope, courage, and intelligence on their side. When the final campaign began, humans moved quickly through the precursor network. Fleets struck simultaneously at multiple Imperium strongholds. Command stations were disabled, supply lines disrupted, and enslaved colonies freed. The galaxy watched in shock as humans, once declared extinct, became a rising power. Alex led the fleet personally. He moved with precision, guiding attacks, coordinating with fighters, and inspiring humans. Lisa managed the precursor network, ensuring ships and supplies moved safely. Jake trained the boarding teams, leading them through critical battles.
Maya monitored communications, keeping humans one step ahead of the Imperium. The Imperium struggled to respond.
They had relied on fear and control. Now humans were striking everywhere, united and intelligent. Panic spread through Imperium fleets, and rebellion began in multiple colonies. The humans achieved a series of victories that no one expected. Supply stations, patrol fleets, and command centers fell, one by one. Freed colonies joined human forces. alien species offered support openly, seeing humans as a symbol of resistance.
Alex watched the blackness of space from the flagship observation deck. Stars glimmered, the galaxy stretched endlessly, and humanity's fleet moved like shadows, striking at critical points.
"We are alive," he said softly. "We are not finished."
"We are stronger than ever." Lisa smiled, watching the network of stations across the galaxy glow with activity.
"The Imperium thought they could crush us. They were wrong. Humans are unpredictable, intelligent, and united. The galaxy will remember this day."
Bear. Jake joined them, his expression calm and determined.
"This is only the beginning. The Imperium may still fight, but humanity has risen. We have hope, courage, and strength."
Nothing can stop us now. The survivors on Earth, in tunnels and in hidden bases across the galaxy, watched as the human fleets struck. Every victory inspired more courage, more rebellion, and more hope. 10 billion lives had been lost in the fall, but the survivors were building a future.
For the first time since the fall, humanity was not running. Humanity was leading.
Humanity was rising. The galaxy, which had once laughed at the humans and declared them finished, now watched in awe and fear.
The Imperium realized too late that the species they had tried to destroy was no longer weak. Humans had learned, adapted, and fought back.
They had technology, strategy, courage, and allies. The balance of power in the galaxy was shifting, and nothing would ever be the same.
Alex looked out at the stars, thinking of Earth, the fallen cities, and the survivors who had worked tirelessly to reach this point.
"We have fought, we have survived, and we have risen," he said.
"The galaxy will never forget humanity again."
The rise of humanity was complete. The fall had been terrible, but survival, courage, and intelligence had turned the tide.
From the shadows of destruction, humans had emerged stronger, united, and ready to lead. And as fleets moved through the galaxy, striking fear into the Imperium, one truth became clear: humanity would not be defeated again.